The Launch Club shows that Nigerian flamboyant pastor whose cousin is Hollywood superstar John Boyega and a pastor who allegedly reconciled Davido and his wife Choma is said to be deported from the United Kingdom imminently. There are lessons that can be learned from this story. This pastor has met some big influential politicians in the United Kingdom, such as former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and he has done work with the senior brass at the Metropolitan Police in London. This story that I'm about to share with you today, hopefully somebody will learn a lesson from this story. This pastor is reported to have come to the UK in 2005 on a visitor's visa. For those seeing my name for the first time, my face for the first time, I am your one and only Francis. At the Launch Club, we bring you the latest updates to educate people from our community. We also share stories about the lived experiences of immigrants and talk about legal migration and wealth creation. I can confirm that Pastor Toby Adegboyega is set for imminent deportation. This pastor is alleged to have squandered almost £2 million. You heard it, almost £2 million. This pastor could not account for £2 million. I want you to leave your comment in the comment section. Do you think that this pastor, if he were living in Nigeria, he will be in trouble for not being able to account for church money? Let me know in the comment section whether you think that this pastor would have gotten away if he were living in Nigeria, or your views is very, very important. He came to the UK, as I said before, in 2005. He settled in London. He founded one of the biggest churches in the United Kingdom, which is a church known as Spark Nation. He founded this church, and this pastor was living a flamboyant life. He had some of the most expensive cars. These cars you're seeing here in the screen, these are the pastors flashing some of these cars when in London. He's got some of the most expensive cars. This pastor was driving Lamborghini, and he was mixing up with celebrities such as Davido and others. One thing the man forgot to do is papers. Listen to this story. Hopefully someone will learn. Don't forget to give this video a like. If you've seen any value, make sure you share this video. As I always say on this platform, one of the best ways to learn in life is to learn from other people's mistake and success. This pastor became so rich and influential in London to the point where a lot of people were calling the guy's name. He was a top celebrity in London that everybody were hearing of this guy. What rumors started going about that the money that was going into the church, the money was not being accounted for. The pastor, it was alleged that he was using the money to sort out himself, to enjoy himself. The pastor applied for in-depth leave to remain in the United Kingdom in 2019. So he came to the UK. He has lived in the UK for 14 years. He therefore decided, now that he's now married to a British woman, he wanted to regularize his papers. His application was initially turned down. When the application was turned down, the pastor decided to go to court to challenge the decision to turn down his application. And meanwhile, whilst all this was going on, the Charity Commission in the United Kingdom, they started investigating this pastor. Any churches in the United Kingdom, they are registered as charity, which means that the money that goes in, you have to be able to account for money that you collect from members of your church. It's not like in Nigeria and other African countries where church belongs to one family. Once the pastor passes, they pass it on to their children. It's not like that in the United Kingdom. If you have a church, you have to be accountable for how you are spending the money. So the Charity Commission in the United Kingdom, they started investigating this guy. Meanwhile, this pastor is reported to have told his church members to sell their belongings. Some people went to take loan. They went to obtain loan because they wanted to sow a seed in this pastor's church. They were selling. Some people is even reported that some young men even sold their blood in order to sow a seed. Let me know what your views are about this seed that a lot of pastors tell people to go and take loan to sow a seed. Do you think that that is the way the Bible explained sowing seed? And do you think that there's nothing wrong in what the pastor has done? That yes, he asked people to go and take loan, but he didn't force them. They went to do it out of their own free will. Let me know what your views are in the comment section. So when rumors started going around that this pastor, he looks like he wasn't accountable for the money that he was collecting, and that is when the Charity Commission of the United Kingdom said, Pastor, we need to see your book about how you are spending the money that comes into this church. The pastor was investigated, and the Charity Commission found out that the pastor could not account for 1.8 million British pounds. Now, for those in Nigeria, 1.8 million British pounds is more than close to 1 trillion naira as at today's rate. More than 1 trillion naira could not be accounted for by this pastor. The pastor, whilst all this was going on, whilst he was enjoying his life in the United Kingdom, mixing up with celebrities, like I said before, this pastor, he was the one that reconciled Chioma and our own Davido. This pastor was mixing up with celebrities because he had private jet, he had Lamborghini, name it, the most expensive car. The pastor was going around splashing, spraying dollars. He was spraying money. Let me know, Pastor Toby Adegboyega, whether you think that the way he lived his life reflected the teaching of Christ. If you did not know anything about Christianity, when you see this pastor spraying money with his flamboyant cars and jet, does that reflect the teaching of Christ? Let me know what your views are in the comment section. Don't forget to show appreciation to the Lunch Club by giving this video a like. We need to know what your views are. Eventually, this man, as I said before, a lot of immigrants, I have heard stories like this countless times, where some people move abroad, once they start seeing money, they forget the most important thing, which is their papers. They forget their papers. If you want to report anything, if you want to contact the Lunch Club, my contact is in the description section of this video. You can send me, you can get my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is there. I will be able to get back to you. The Charity Commission now ruled, and the pastor's church was closed down. This is why, after evidence that this pastor has taken advantage of he has abused his position. He couldn't account for the money that he had collected, and he was using all this money to enjoy himself, driving Lamborghini and other expensive cars, whereas he forgot to get his papers sorted. The pastor then went to court. When the application was refused, he went to court. Now, a judge has now ruled just yesterday in the United Kingdom that his stay in the United Kingdom is not in the public good. That the pastor applied. Why this case is very important is, in the past, when you have a British wife or you have a British child, you can't stay in the United Kingdom under what we know as the right to family life. It appears that this pastor have children to this British woman, and despite his attachment, despite the fact that he has children, the judge has now ruled that he can be deported. Listen to this story. Listen to this story. Hopefully, somebody will learn. Meanwhile, whilst this pastor was flying around, going around with his private jet, if he had gone to Nigeria with his wife and reapply for spouse visa, he would have come back to the United Kingdom easily. He would have come back. All he needed to do, since he has a British wife, go to Nigeria, apply for spouse visa, and come back, and within 5 years, he would have become a British citizen. If he had done it before 2000, before the changes in the early 2000, after 2-3 years, he would have become permanent resident in the United Kingdom. The pastor completely forgot everything that brought him to the United Kingdom, and he was more focused on the lifestyle that he was living, forgetting the most important thing in the life of an immigrant, which is paper. Now, I know some of you will say, oh, he's been deported. What is in the United Kingdom? What is in the United Kingdom? After all, let him be deported to Nigeria. Let me tell you something. I was speaking to a friend who is a 7th general in Nigeria Army recently. The man's wife came to the UK to study and only found out that she had cancer. The man told me, as a general, he earns less than 1.5 million in Nigeria. He would have bankrupt. There is no way he would have been able to pay for the chemotherapy. When you haven't seen anything, there's nothing like security. This pastor screwed up because, like I said before, he could have easily gone to Nigeria, apply for spouse visa, come back to the United Kingdom, and everything will be fine. But the man was more focused on his private jet. He was more focused on deceiving people and telling people that, oh, he has already arrived. I know the story of a young girl who came to the United Kingdom as a very young person. This girl has lived in the United Kingdom. She talks with British accent. In her head, she started thinking that she's British citizen. She forgot paper. It was only when they found out later that this girl, she doesn't even have paper. She came to this country as a young person. The parent brought her to the United Kingdom. She did not regularize the paper. She thought because she was speaking with British accent, that alone means that she doesn't need paper. It was later when they deported her to Nigeria. That is when her eyes cleared. A lot of people from our community, when you have money, it's easy for you to forget where you come from. You forget where you come from. The most important thing in the life of immigrant, which is your paper, you forget it. Now, this pastor, hopefully somebody will learn, because as we speak now, he's going to be deported. He could not account for 1.8 million British pounds. That is more than 1 trillion naira. Look at the pastor enjoying himself. That is the pastor with his Lamborghini, with his private jet, enjoying himself. He forgot that he doesn't have paper, for God's sake. He's posing with Lamborghini. When you see this pastor now, does he reflect the teaching of Christ? Hopefully, somebody will learn a lesson. If you're seeing any value, don't forget to make sure you give this video a like. More people from our community can learn from it. Like I said before, the story of the young girl who came to the UK when she was 5 years old and she forgot that she needed paper. She will talk before she speaks with a British accent. That is enough for her, only for her to be deported. And that is when she realized that, as some people say, they say Calabar is a big city. You only know when you've been to Calabar. The wise ones among us will learn from this story. What are the lessons that we can learn from this pastor story? Number one, when you're an immigrant, you move abroad, the first thing you should focus on is your paper. I know some of you say, that is British. Let him go back to Nigeria. My brother, may God not let you experience, my brother, my sister, may God not let you experience deportation. It is better for you to have your citizenship, carry your bag, go back to Nigeria or your country. Whenever you're tired, you come back, than for you to be deported. The only way this pastor could have been deported if he had British passport is if he poses a risk, a threat to the British state, either he was involved in terrorism or something very, very significant. There is no way he would have been deported. But because he forgot why he came to the UK and he thought that Lamborghini and all these things, he got carried away, and now he's going to be deported. If you have any story that you want to share with myself and my team, you can reach us on our WhatsApp number, which is 075-488 04402. I repeat, 075-488 04402. That is our WhatsApp number. Share this video with anyone that you know will learn. Hopefully, somebody will learn. The wise ones among us will learn. The best way to learn is to learn from other people's experience so that you don't make